Also happy to be here. Thanks for having me. Kathy, our county administrator, like usually I get up at the county board meetings and they got to limit me to a couple of minutes, but and I end up going at least 10, 15 minutes past that, but I'll try to be short. But as Secretary of Transportation mentioned, we're one of 72 counties that do perform winter maintenance, or all the maintenance for the state highways. Is unique in the nation. I think the state's done. I've been 29 years. I started back in Wapaka County Highway Department, and I think there's been 2-3 different studies done nationally on how we're doing, and I think that's been proven to be a very efficient way of doing business and saving the state a lot of money. I think when I started 29 years ago, county highway departments were one of probably the top spenders in county expenditures for the actual county government. Highways has gradually slipped down to where we're probably fourth under quite a few other larger departments, and I think that lack of being able to keep up with times, ag, all the industries besides the actual just the infrastructure deteriorating is the heavier and heavier loads. To be competitive, we need to haul heavier loads. We need to have bigger bridges, wider bridges. I mean, it's in Monroe County here. A few years ago, we looked at our backlog, and I think we're about $90 million in a backlog in just Monroe County highways. We have about 345 miles of county trunk highway here in Monroe County, and we have about a $90 million backlog, and that's just to bring us up to standard today. That doesn't account for improving, doing any improvements to the system at all. So it is a daunting task. Unfortunately, I've in my years going to the finance committee before we've had a county administrator, I think there was a lot of times I'd go in and it'd be, well, now's not a good time. Now's not a good time. Come back next year. Now's not a good time. Now's not a good time to raise taxes. And really, we're all taxpayers. When is a good time for us to spend more tax dollars? There really isn't a good time to spend tax dollars. But really, if you think of our infrastructure, I mean, it really is a disservice to future generations and irresponsible that we build something, we spend millions and millions of dollars on an infrastructure, and then we really have no plan to maintain that and to keep it in good shape and to keep it, do preventive maintenance to keep it from going to the point where you need to totally reconstruct it. So I think hopefully we have the will to get something done, and there's folks that are willing to say we've gotten all the efficiencies we can out of our existing system. We've scrimped and done what we could to do more with less for 15, 20 years, and there just comes a point when you're at as little as you can do, and we need to do some more improvements. And so I agree with the rest of the panel. I mean, we definitely need to do something. Everybody's in the same boat. I hope that as the Towns Association, and we can get to some kind of tools that we can have too, if the county board does decide to put in a 0.5% sales tax. I think that's a good option to be at the will of the counties. I get calls every once in a while from somebody, a resident in a township that says doesn't like what their town government's doing, and they say, can't you force the town to do this? They're doing something they don't like on their road, not taking care of it right, or not putting pavement down or something like that. And my normal response is your town government is probably the closest you'll ever have to a true democracy. I mean, if you can't work with your town government, it's not going to happen. I said, I'm not going to come in and force a town to do something that they don't want to do. You go to your annual town meeting, you can elect your town board, you can get resolutions at the town level, get stuff put into the town budget. I mean, it's as close as you're going to have to true democracy. If we can't rely on the local elected officials to help out locally, we're in a bad spot. But so that's about all I had. Like I say, all the towns in the counties are in pretty much the same boat. We've been just trying to do as much as we can with what little we have. So hopefully we can find the way to get a few more dollars to really do a wise investment in our infrastructure.
You don't know how short that was for Jack. Craig, what's the fix?